Hey y'all, welcome to the final episode in my series on recommendations that I am making for comms practitioners in 2026. And so the final recommendation is on information management. Now, let's do a bit of Bible reading before we come to the subject. So there are many instances in the Bible of Jesus doing something and telling his disciples, do not tell anyone. And I want to share one instance with you. I think all the Gospels record it, or at least Matthew records it, Mark records it, and Luke as well. And this is the story about the Transfiguration, where Jesus goes to the mountain with some of his disciples, and Elijah and Moses come up, and so he's caught in the heavens as a cloud comes upon him. And Peter, for example, says that, Lord, let us build a tent here and stay. In there, the Lord says that this is my son in whom I'm well pleased and everything. And Bible says, after the voice, the cloud receded, kind of. And with it was left with just Jesus and his disciples. And so in Luke chapter 9, verse 36, Bible says, when the voice had ceased, Jesus was found alone, but they kept quiet and told no one in those days any of the things they had seen. And like I said, there are a lot of instances in the Bible where Jesus does something and he tells his disciples, do not share this with anyone. You can only share it after I'm gone, things like that. And for me, that is the import of information management. I wrote a Medium article about information management last year. I put a link to that article, that Medium article, in the description below for you to check out. But why is information management important? Information management helps you to understand that timing, context, audience readiness all matter as much as the information that you are putting out there. Because we live in the social media age and the information age, sometimes I wonder if we have lost all sense of embarrassment, all sense of shame. And as it applies to individuals, the same applies to organizations. And so it's important that as corporate communications practitioners, we take information management serious. Why information management is important is that, like I've said, you have to think about the context of the information, the readiness of your stakeholders, or your audience, the timing, etc., whether they all align before you talk about anything or you communicate anything. Once these things do not align, you might have the right message, but if it goes at the wrong time, it will backfire. Or the wrong message at the right time will still backfire. And so the key to ask is, what information am I sharing? With whom? At what time? And how will this lead to the best outcomes for all stakeholders? Remember, we have talked about stakeholder relations in 2026. If you haven't watched that video, go back to the channel and look for my first video that I did in the series and you'll get it. And so it is important that we take our information management role as strategic communications practitioners very seriously. We need to take serious the information that we take from people and what we use it for. There have been instances where scammers have targeted people, where the wrong people, basically scammers, have targeted people because they left their information with our organizations. And that cannot be right in this digital age. And so it is important that, yes, we are careful about the information that we are sending out there, but also when we are taking information from people, that we protect it and that we use it for the purposes for which we have said that we will use it. And so in 2026, please remember that even Jesus, the Lord of all, the Lord who knew all things, he did not permit his disciples to share every information at any time. So think about your audience, think about the context, and make sure that all of these align. Again, you know that my research is in decolonizing public relations. And at the height of some political things that happened in Ghana last year, this proverb came to mind. It is not everything that the hunter sees in the forest that he comes to talk about. And it is all about information management. When to say what, who to say it to, and how beneficial it will be. Thank you very much for joining me on this journey. If you have not subscribed to my channel, Sankofa Circle, please do, because we have some exciting things coming your way. Thank you very much, and bye.